is Tapner Wisdom, and I have done my documentary on cannabis use in ancient Asia. So, firstly, cannabis use has been used for medicinal or religious purposes throughout the history of mankind. In this documentary, we will explore the history of cannabis use in ancient societies such as China, India, and the ancient nomads, the Scythians. Firstly, let's move on to ancient China. Cannabis use was very prevalent for religious ceremonies and medicinal purposes. The ancient Chinese focused more on cannabis seeds for its medicinal properties, particularly for the treatment of digestive disorders, skin diseases, and just general pain. Along with this, the ancient Chinese were also interested in using the whole cannabis plant. The Chinese people were more innovative and explorative in their utilization of cannabis than any other ancient society, incorporating the leaves, the oil, the stems, the roots, the flowers, and the achenes into their medicinal practices. Divine Farmer's Material Medica, a translation of the Shennan Ben Cao Jing. Cannabis is stated to be one of the 5 sacred plants, with its use dating back to the Han Dynasty, which takes place around 206 BCE to around 220 CE. Cannabis was also used for many medicinal preparations for ailments such as pain relief, treatment of rheumatism, and malaria, and was also used as an anesthetic. This primary source text provides very valuable insight into how the ancient Chinese used cannabis as a medicine and for religion. Next, we will move on to ancient India. The earliest recorded use of cannabis in India was in the Artha Veda, which was written around 1500 BCE, where it was used for medicinal purposes to treat things such as phlegm, cadagar, diarrhea, pain treatment, and was also used as an anesthetic. According to the hymns of Artha Veda, which is one of the most sacred texts in Hinduism, it mentions that cannabis was one of the 5 sacred crops used to create soma, a sacred substance that was believed to have psychedelic properties, and was often used in religious ceremonies. Finally, we will move on to the Scythians. The Scythians were a nomadic tribe of people who lived in Central Asia and Russia. It is believed that they used cannabis in their daily lives for recreational use, as well as religious rituals. Archaeological discoveries in this area have indicated that the Scythians made use of cannabis in their daily lives, as shown by the recovery of a burnt hemp seeds in a copper censer and a leather flask. They were also discovered in frozen tombs of Pizerk in Serbia. Another interesting fact is that in the histories of Herodotus, it gives us a first-person recap of how the Scythians used cannabis, stating that they grew hemp that was remarkably similar to flax and used it to make clothing that resembled linen. The Scythians also used hemp seeds to create a vapor bath, which they thought was a substitute for bathing. They also reacted very strongly when they were immersed in the vapor, yelling out screams of joy. The Scythian women in the baths used a mixture of pounded cypress, cedar, and frankincense wood to wash their bodies and faces, which Herodotus said left their skin looking fantastic. Now, we will take a look at the ancient artifacts these civilizations used to consume cannabis. One of the many ways cannabis was consumed in ancient China was through the use of hot stones in a wooden brazier. This particular example was found at the Zherzhanko Cemetery in western China, which was used right around 2,500 years ago to smoke cannabis. Next, in ancient India, I chose a location rather than an artifact. So, ceremonies were often dedicated to gods in temples or shrines similar to this temple being called the Narajar Temple. This temple is dedicated to the god Shiva, who was actually in the ancient India slide up above, who is known for his love of cannabis. And for the last artifact, it is a golden bong that is believed to have been the Scythians and was found in a kurgan located in the Caucasus Mountains of southern Russia. It is believed to have been used to smoke cannabis and opium around 2,400 years ago. It is also believed to have been the tribal leader's bong due to its golden nature. I just want to thank you for listening, and now here are the credits.